So yesterday we have proved that if we know two linearly independent solutions of second order homogeneous differential equation, then their linear combination is also a solution of second order homogeneous differential equation. So that we have proved. Also, we have proved one result that two solutions phi1 and phi2 of second order homogeneous differential equation are linearly independent if and only if Wronskian of those two solutions is not equal to 0 for all points x in the interval I. And one more theorem we have proved: two solutions of second order homogeneous differential equation are linearly independent if and only if Wronskian of those two solutions phi1 and phi2 at a point x0 is not equal to 0. So depending on these theorems, now we shall proceed for some examples. The first example which we consider today is here. We consider two functions, given functions, and we will see that whether those two solutions are linearly dependent or linearly independent on this interval, that is minus infinity to plus infinity. So here we take domain of the solution of these two solutions as whole real line. So this real line is the domain of solution of our solutions phi1 and phi2 for the given second order differential equation. So let us see here first. Function is phi1 of x is x. Another function phi2 is exponential function. So what is R? R is some complex constant. So let us see whether these two functions are linearly independent or linearly dependent. Now let us write a Wronskian for two solutions phi1 and phi2. So what is the definition of Wronskian of two solutions? It is nothing but a determinant of order 2 by 2 whose first row is the functions phi1 and phi2 and second row is write their derivatives. So derivative of phi1 and derivative of phi2. So that is what the Wronskian of two functions is. So this is the definition of Wronskian for two solutions phi1 and phi2, right? So and we use the theorem which we have proved yesterday, that is two solutions are linearly independent if and only if Wronskian for two solutions at x is not equal to 0. So if this Wronskian is not equal to 0, then we conclude that two solutions phi1 and phi2 are linearly independent. And if this Wronskian comes out to be 0, then we conclude that these two solutions are not linearly independent. It means those two solutions phi1 and phi2 are linearly dependent. Okay, so let us see here. Let us write the Wronskian for these two functions. So first row is first function x, second function e to the power rx. Now in the second row we need derivatives. So we already calculated the derivatives of given functions here. So derivative of x is 1. Derivative of this exponential function is r into e to the power rx, right? So we just put the values of phi1 dash and phi2 dash here and we'll have this determinant. Now solve this determinant. So how to solve? Just take the cross multiplication, okay, and put minus sign in between. So x into r e to the power rx, product is r into x e to the power rx. Product of 1 and e to the power rx is e to the power rx. and put minus sign like this. Okay. Now simplify this. So here we can take e to the power Rx common and we write e to the power Rx into Rx minus 1. Okay. So this is the value of this Wronskian for these two solutions, phi1 and phi2. Now see whether this value of Wronskian for all points is 0 or not. Okay. Now I have written directly this is not equal to 0. But how? Because here R is some complex constant. So this exponential function is never 0. Its value is not equal to 0. And this Rx minus 1, this factor is also not equal to 0. Okay. So no two quantities, none of these quantities is 0, and therefore this product of these two quantities is not equal to 0. And hence Wronskian for these two functions phi1 and phi2 is not equal to 0 for any choice of this point x. And therefore by application of that theorem, we conclude that these two functions phi1 and phi2 are linearly independent. Okay, so this is the first example where we have seen that solutions given functions are linearly independent. Okay, so I have written here the conclusion of that example 1. Okay, now we will consider another pair of functions, as first function is cosine x and second function is sine x, right? So let us again use same theorem to see that whether these two functions are linearly independent or not. So here again we need to write Wronskian for these two solutions. We need determinant, this phi1, determinant of two functions phi1 phi2, second row is phi1 dash phi2 dash, right? So here phi1 is cosine x, so we write first row as cosine x and sine x. Now we need phi1 dash and phi2 dash, means their derivatives. So derivative of cos x is, it is determined here, it is minus sine x, derivative of sine x is cos x. So this is what the Wronskian of given two functions is, right? Now solve this determinant. So take the cross multiplication, you will get cos square x, and here cross multiplication is minus sine square x. But we put minus sign, so minus minus becomes plus, and here you will get cos square x plus sine square x. And we know the identity that sine square x plus cos square x, its value is 1, so which is not equal to 0. So it is very easy here to conclude that Wronskian of these two solutions at any point x is not equal to 0. Okay, but in earlier case we have to argue in different manner. Okay, so here again by application of that theorem we conclude that these two functions phi1 and phi2 are linearly independent. Now second, here first function is sine x, another function is the exponential function, complex exponential function e to the power ix. So again write the determinant like this, which we call it as a Wronskian. So first row is sine x e to the power ix. Write the derivatives of first function and sine function. So derivative of first function is cos x, derivative of second function is I into e to the power ix. So we have this determinant. Okay, and now solve this determinant. So after solving, here you will get cross multiplication is cross multiplication is here sin x into I e to the power ix. So we get this thing plus second here cos x into so what is this cos x? Just 1 minute, because you cannot see first row of the determinant, right? Okay, so here it is sin x I into e to the power I x sin x, and this product is cos x into e to the power I x. But here you have to check whether this is true or not. So this is plus. Why this is plus, that we will check. Okay. Okay, so whatever it may be, plus or minus. So here it is sin x. Okay, its derivative is cos x. Okay, right. So this is minus. What we need here, please take care of this. So this is minus. Okay, so this gives e to the power ix, right? We can take e to the power ix common here, and what we get, e to the power ix minus, so this term is minus, so I will write first term I sin x minus cos x, right? And if we take we cannot take I common, so this is e to the power ix. Please remember I sin x minus cos x, and for that we have written it is e to the power ix, but here is one small mistake. Okay, so here this is not the value of the determinant. So e to the power, what is the value of the determinant? E to the power ix into I sin x minus cos x, right? Now, whether this quantity is 0 or not equal to 0, we have to argue this. Okay, so this is not equal to 0. You don't think about this. Okay, you just concentrate on this. So what is this? Again, here this exponential function is never 0, right? And this cos 0. If you take x is equal to 0, this is never 0, because cos 0 is 1. Okay, this is 0, but whole thing is 1. So this bracket is not equal to 0 for any choice of x, and therefore product of these two quantities is not equal to 0, and hence Wronskian of these two solutions phi 1 and phi 2 is not equal to 0, and by application of the theorem we conclude that these two functions phi 1 of x, which is sin x, and phi 2 of x, which is exponential function, are again linearly independent. So let us proceed for next pair. So in this way, just you have to apply the theorem which we have proved. Here first solution is cos 3x, and second solution is sin 3x, right? So to write that of Wronskian for these two functions, we need derivatives of both the functions. So derivative of cos 3x is minus 3 sin 3x. So derivative of cos 3x is minus sin 3x, and I again write the derivative of angle 3x. So it is 3. So that derivative of first function is minus 3 sin 3x, right? Now what is the derivative of this sin 3x? It is 3 cos 3x, and just put the values of phi 1, phi 2, phi 1 dash, phi 2 dash in this determinant, you will get this, and then simplify. Find the value of this determinant. So just take the cross multiplication. So it is 3 cos square 3x, and this minus minus becomes plus, you will get 3 sin square 3x. And again, you can write this as 3 times sin square 3x plus cos square 3x, and using that identity, it is 1. So what is the value of this determinant? This Wronskian comes out to be 3, which is non-zero, and therefore these two solutions are linearly independent again. Okay, so just you can work for another pair of functions. So here first function is log x, another function is log of x square. So let us find the derivative of log x. Its derivative is 1 by x, and find the derivative of log x square. So it is this function by application of properties of logarithm, this can be written as 2 times log x and then take the derivative. So derivative is 2 upon x. So substitute the values of phi 1, phi 2 and phi 1 dash, phi 2 dash for this Wronskian. So that I did here, right? Now solve this. So cross multiplication is 2 upon x into log x minus cross multiplication is 1 upon x into log of x square, right? Now this can be written by using properties of logarithm. 2 log x can be written as log of x square, right? So that here this is first term will be 1 upon x log x square minus 1 upon x log x square. So this is positive, this is negative, so their addition is 0. So here we see that Wronskian of these two functions phi 1x and phi 2x comes out to be 0, and therefore these two solutions by theorem are not linearly independent, and therefore they are linearly dependent. So the conclusion is written in the next line, so that I will show you. Okay, so what is the conclusion? The functions phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly dependent. Now this is another pair of functions. Okay, so on the same line here you proceed for this, obtain the Wronskian, and it is not equal to 0, and therefore again these two functions phi 1 and phi 2 given by this are linearly independent. Now we move to second example of this article, right? So let us see what kind of example we are having here. So the differential equation is y double dash plus a1 y dash plus a2 y is equal to 0. We know that it is denoted by, simply denoted by L of y, right? So what are a1 and a2? a1 and a2 are real constants such that this condition holds. Yes, in fact this condition is 4a2 minus a1 square is not equal to 0. So this is, here it must be not equal to 0. And let alpha plus I beta and alpha minus I beta, where alpha and beta are real. So here these are the two complex roots of the characteristic polynomial of this differential equation that we are going to assume here. And with this assumption, what we show, the functions phi 1 and phi 2 given by this, phi 1 is this exponential function into cosine beta x, and second function is exponential function into sine beta x. So these are the solutions of the second order differential equation that we have to show. And second question is, we have to compute the Wronskian for these two solutions, and after computing the value of Wronskian, we have to prove that these two solutions phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly independent on the interval I. Okay, so let us write the characteristic equation for the second order differential equation, and we know that its characteristic equation is this: P of r is equal to r square plus a1 r plus a2, and this is equal to 0. And this is simply a quadratic equation. We know the two roots of this quadratic equation are given by this. So first root is minus a1 plus square root of this quantity divided by 2, and second root is minus a1 minus square root of this quantity divided by 2, right? Now here this is this discriminant. This may be either positive or negative. So if this is positive, if this quantity is positive, what will happen? Then the roots of this polynomial, characteristic polynomial, are imaginary, and therefore we denote these two roots by this complex number alpha plus I beta, and second root is alpha minus I beta. And let us answer question number A. Okay, what are the solutions of this? When this is the case, what are the solutions of the second order differential equation with the help of these two roots? First root is e to the power, first solution is e to the power alpha plus I beta into x, and second solution is e to the power alpha minus I beta into x, that we know. And therefore, we have proved that if we know these two solutions, then their linear combination is again a solution. And so we write linear combination of these two solutions. So here, instead of taking constant C1 and C2, we take constant, new constant D1. D1 into first solution plus D2 into second solution. And then after simplification, its simplification is e to the power alpha x into e to the power I beta x. Here, e to the power alpha x into e to the power minus I beta x. So just you apply the laws of indices and get this. Now you take from that e to the power alpha x common, you will get this. Okay. So here it is e to the power alpha x, it is e to the power alpha x, and take common, you will get this. Now again use the Euler's formula to write this complex exponential function as this. What is that Euler's formula? You might be remember. E to the power I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, and e to the power minus I sin I theta is equal to cos theta minus I sin theta. And using that formula, you will get this, right? And after simplification, this is what d1 into cos beta x. This is d2 into cos beta x. So from these two terms, you take cos beta x common and get this. And from remaining two terms, this second and last term, you take common I into sin beta x, and you will get this d1 minus d2. So this is what finally, this is nothing but the exponential function into, so we denote this constant by some new constant c1 cos beta x. This is new constant I into d1 minus d2. We take this as one constant, and it is denoted by c2 sin beta x, right? So this is nothing but c1 into e to the power alpha x cos beta x, and this is c2 into e to the power alpha x sin beta x. But what is e to the power alpha x cos beta x? That is given as phi 1 of x. E to the power alpha x into sin beta x, that is given as phi 2 of x. And therefore, this phi, which is nothing but c1 e to the power alpha x cos beta x plus c2 e to the power alpha x sin beta x, is a solution of this differential equation, second order differential equation. Okay, so this is the solution of first question when the case is this, right? So second question, we have to find the Wronskian of these two solutions and then prove that these two solutions are linearly independent. So let us work out the derivative of this phi 1 function. So here, if you look at the function phi 1, it is the it is the product of two functions. First function is the exponential function. Second function is sin beta x. So likewise here, the second function is again a product of two functions, of which one is the exponential function, other is cosine function. So to determine the derivative of both the functions, use product rule. Okay. First, what is product rule? First function into derivative of second plus second into derivative of first, and use this formula and get this these derivatives. So derivative of phi 1 is this one, okay, and derivative of phi 2 is this, okay. So just make use of product rule and get the derivatives. So substitute these values of phi 1, phi 2 and phi 1 dash, phi 2 dash in this, in the definition of Wronskian, and you will get this, okay. And just take the just find the value of this determinant. So this quantity into this into this, and this into this, and put minus sign in between and simplify. You will get the idea. Okay, I will not explain this in detail. Yeah, it is just a cross multiplication. So after taking multiplication, you can rearrange the terms and get it simplified like this. Beta into e to the power 2 alpha x into this. And what is this again? Its value is 1. So beta into e to the power 2 alpha x is not equal to 0. So for any choice of x, this exponential function is never 0. Beta is not equal to 0. And therefore, Wronskian of these two functions is not equal to 0. And hence, the solutions are linearly independent, right? So this is the second example that we have, but this is possible when 4 this condition 4a2 minus a1 square is greater than 0. Okay, then these two solutions, phi 1x is equal to e to the power alpha x cos beta x, and phi 2x is equal to e to the power alpha x sin beta x. These two solutions are linearly independent. Okay, so let us proceed for the next example. So what we have to do in this example, suppose that phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly independent solutions of this second order differential equation whose coefficients are constant coefficients. Okay, and Wronskian of these two solutions is denoted by capital W. Then we have to show that this Wronskian is constant if and only if this A1 is 0. Okay, so let us do this. So W, what is the Wronskian of two solutions? It is nothing but by definition this one, and its value is this. Now take the derivative of this Wronskian. So take the derivative of right hand side, right? So phi 1 into derivative of phi 2 double dash minus derivative. So here, in fact, you have to use product rule and get this. First derivative of first function into derivative of second. First function into derivative of second. Here also derivative of first function, derivative of second function, and use this idea and see that the derivative of this Wronskian is this one. Okay, you will get it. Now, if phi 1 and phi 2 are two solutions of this second order differential equation, it means this function, both the functions satisfy the second order differential equation, and therefore you will get equation 1 and equation 2. Then we just multiply equation 1 by minus phi 2, equation 2 by phi 1, and then adding these two equations. After rearranging the terms, you will get this. Okay, you just make here simple calculation as per the directions and get this, right? Now what is this? This first parenthesis is W dash that we have, okay, plus A1. What is this? This is nothing but W, right? And what we have here, W dash plus A1 W is 0. So what does it mean? This is a first order linear differential equation in W. So W dash can be written as minus A1 W. Okay. So what we did here, the problem of second order differential equation is reduced to a problem of first order differential equation. So and finally we get first derivative of Wronskian is minus A1. So if A1 is 0, if A1 is 0, so whole thing goes 0. So W dash is 0. So this implies W dash is 0. So when the derivative will be 0, if this function is constant, and therefore what we conclude, W, this Wronskian is constant. If W is constant, reverse, in the reverse way. If W is constant, we have to prove that A1 is 0. So if W is constant, then derivative of constant is 0. But what is W dash? That we know. It is minus A1 W. So we write minus A1 W is 0. And this gives A1 is, when the product of two quantities is 0, if one of them is 0. So W is not 0. W is constant. Therefore, A1 must be 0. Right? And therefore, why this is because these two solutions are linearly independent. So in this way, we can have examples which depends on the Wronskian. Okay, and linearly independent and linearly dependent. Okay, so let us proceed for next article. Next article is the formula for the Wronskian. So here we have only one theorem in this article. So the theorem is like this: if two solutions phi1 and phi2 are the solutions of this second order differential equation, and if there is fixed point x0, any point x0 in I, okay, then we have a relationship between these two Wronskians. So this is the Wronskian for all points, and this is the Wronskian for a given point x0. Okay, so what is this? This is, in other words, you can say this is the relationship between the Wronskian for all values and Wronskian for a particular or given point. So let us see its proof. So if phi1 and phi2 are the solutions of second order differential equation, it means the second order differential equation is satisfied, and therefore you will get equation 1 and equation 2. Okay, the only reason is that phi1 and phi2 are the solutions of second order homogeneous differential equation. And then just as in the previous example, we just multiply first equation by minus phi2 and second equation by phi1, and then add these two equations. So you'll get this. So what we have, W, yes. So what is W? W is nothing but this value. Okay. And if you take its derivative, we have seen that its derivative is this. So for this we write W dash. This is just a repetition part, and for this we write W, and we will get this equation. So what does it mean? I already told you that this is a first order linear differential equation. And what is the solution? We have proved in the second unit that if we have the differential equation y dash plus ay is equal to 0, right? This is the first order homogeneous differential equation. So what is its solution? C into e to the power minus a1x is a solution. So you apply that theorem here for this differential equation, and therefore its solution is this W. Yes, this is the solution, because the differential equation is in W, and therefore we write solution as W. W is equal to C into this, and where C is some complex, is some constant, maybe complex. And then we put x is equal to x0 in this Wronskian. Yes, x is equal to x0. So that will give phi1 at x0 into phi2 dash at x0 minus phi1 dash at x0 into phi2 at x0. Right? And for this, yes, here, yeah, for x also we put x0, right? And get this, what is W at x0? Here, C into e to the power minus a1 into x0, right? And from this you can find the value of C. So what is value of C? Value of this constant is W at x0 into e to the power plus a1 x0, right? Because of this multiple here, this sign of this minus, sign of this a1 gets changed, and it is simply plus e to the power a1x into W at x0. This is the constant, and we just put the value of this constant here. So that gives, so this W means Wronskian for two solutions for all points x, right? And this as it is, e to the power minus a1x as it is, right? And what is the value of this? C is this, right? So e to the power minus a1x into e to the power a1x0 by log of indices, you can have e to the power minus a1, you can take common x minus x0, and we will write, okay, this. So this is the relationship between two Wronskians. So this is the Wronskian for all the values for any point of x, and this is the Wronskian at a single point. So this is the relation that we need to prove here in this example. Okay, so this is about article number 4 and 5 of your course. Only one article is remained. We will discuss that article tomorrow. Okay, so with this, I will stop here. Let us wait.